Trouble keeping up with the Joneses? I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Aaron Jones, no picnic a week ago. He's looking for another big game, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers. With that, let's get up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Standing by for the call from venerable Lambeau Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
We are at the oldest continually operating stadium in the NFL as you get a look inside Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. They've got all W's on the ledger so far, a perfect 6-0.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but they're showing everyone early on that they intend to be there in the end.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come in with some fresh legs as they got the week off last week thanks to the early season bye.
And usually you hope your bye comes a little bit later in the year, but when you get a chance to get fresh legs back, you take that time and you run with it.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Orchestrating the offense, the former three-time captain at Michigan State, quarterback Kirk Cousins.
And coming off of an early season open week. And in this situation, what he told us when we sat down with him was he spent a lot of time working on fundamentals, kind of getting back to basics during that time, as opposed to having to worry about healing up or resting up. It was too early in the season. Get back to the basics, get his game going again.
And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Side caught by Diggs. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Well, let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL. But for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities. Loves being a Viking. And he's a really good
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. To throw, it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. He's got a man, complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Hey, man, watch the boot, Jump out! Hey, Charlie! Push him back!
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Adams. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10, right at the 40. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 2nd down now, it's Jones, and he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards there and a first down. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Hey, exit.
Now Rodgers looking in zone, but it's incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Partner's been my experience that after 2 stops like that near the goal line, defenses only become bolder. They don't back off at all. I think they continue to bring pressure and force them to make a really big play against them.
And the incompletion, then the run for no gain. Let's see now. Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams with touchdown number 8 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the
pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Give the sack to Blake Martinez.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Out comes Devontae Adams in the offense for their next drive. That's really been a blistering start to the season for him so far. He's on pace to blow past 1,000 yards. The good receivers, it's interesting, though. You put extra coverage on them, they probably view that as a challenge. All right, I'm going to go after this. You put one guy on them, then they feel disrespected, and they want it to. So how do you cover it?
You're exactly right. That's an insult, right? Especially the year that he's having. But I just have to go ahead and I'm not going to insult him. I'm going to respect him. I'm sending as many people as possible. But one of the reasons he's having this type of a start is despite that type of coverage, he finds a way to what we call uncover late. Ball's thrown, even though there's coverage there, he's the one who can go up and come down with it, finds a way to get to the football.
And the offensive line has given them time in the pocket to have that uncovering late.
54, Mike. 50. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. We got to get the ball. Hey, high 7. Mike 5-4.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. And he finds Seals Jones complete. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. Great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Inside. Jump. Kill. You go tight. You got over here. You got tight right there.
They'll run on 1st down. Jones. Now he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage and anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys good,
Yeah.
backside guys,
Nah.
that's what you're supposed to do?
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable gain.
He'll take a shot for the end zone, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in his first half, a second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. He's got Adams on the hookup. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first. And just on Wednesday, he was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for that over 100-yard performance he had last week.
Deservedly so, and I enjoyed our time with him and asked him how he got it done. What did he see? And he said film study, watching what the defenses were going to present, understanding how to defeat those. And then he was a step ahead because he said, and then they're going to change up and counter another way. And he beat them that way, too.
And he's brought down after a very nice game. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Rodgers to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Again, he was looking for Davante Adams, but now it's third and goal.
All right, Captain, it's batten down the hatches time.
Got a man open, it's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams with his second touchdown here in this first half. Now the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
McManus's point after is good. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Preston Smith racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. On third down, Cousins. And the pressure gets to him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Returnable for Grant. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. Davante Adams in the Packer offense heading back out. And his 2 touchdowns, a big reason they're winning right now. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control. Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Hey, echo. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike.
Rodgers now on first down. Steps away to his left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Rodgers now to throw again. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 27-yard line. On first down, Rodgers throwing the out route incomplete. It's Adams. 2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4.
2nd and 5 now. Rodgers, his pass caught at the 4. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, 3 first-half touchdown passes. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Extra point from McManus is good, and it's now 21-0. So that drives 7 plays in length, and the result, a Green Bay score. And now out comes Minnesota. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
On second down, Cousins again. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And Diggs has it. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. It's a pickup of 12. Second play in a row with a 12-yard gain. Cousins now to throw on first down. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins looking and finding Allen Hurns. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 38-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Cousins. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing is Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. Now Brett Maher for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or 2. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Adams. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So on now is Brandon McManus. He has hit from as far away as 57, but that was in Denver. 64 was Matt Prater's record. This would top that by a yard. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. So we're at halftime here at Lambeau with the Packers taking the lead to the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter. From there, it's off to Jacksonville to see what's going on with the Jags. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens looking to keep things rolling into October after a perfect 5-0 start to the year. In our game has been Aaron Rodgers, who was on target in the first half. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
So here are the Packers now to take over. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now, beginning this drive 1st and 10.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Check.
The second half starts with a carry by Jones. And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Shotgun now for Rodgers. That's caught over the middle by Seals-Jones. 17 yards on the play there as the Packers have the first down as well. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He's going to let this one go deep. This is caught. A big play there. Rodgers to Adams. 52 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Rodgers to throw once more. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. The touchdown all set up by the big play, one snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? You create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Kirk Cousins now, the centerpiece of our player spotlight. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2. Cook strip. The ball's out, and the Packers pick it up. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and end of the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now Jones. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from the 1. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. Aaron Rodgers keeping it himself from a yard out. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And maybe there that was just a case of completely overlooking the guy holding the football.
It certainly felt like it, didn't it? Because on my checklist, okay, as a defender,
QB's last.
Running back, fullback, heck, jet sweeps nowadays. Before you even get to thinking about the quarterback might actually keep it.
McManus's point after is good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some...
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Cousins to throw it. Packer pressure, and down he goes.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And last time out, another touchdown. I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads will be fairly clear
by the time
we have to leave the booth.
Again, it's Jones. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. But they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, they created a big run. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers on fire. His 5th touchdown pass of the ball game as his guys continue to pour it on. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And now out comes Minnesota. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Cousins gives way to Cook. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game. And on this
rush coming, and he's taken down. Preston Smith, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he will not be able to hang on. Through the contact, it's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And Adams has it, complete. His big day receiving just keeps getting bigger. He's over 200 yards now on the afternoon. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Throwing on 2nd down. Rodgers throwing the out route incomplete. It's Adams. 12 yards there and a 1st down. Rodgers now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. They've done a good job on these receivers, pretty much held them in check. They're a little too close for comfort.
And you're always looking for a play to get you going, right? You're looking for someone to make one. But maybe this penalty, this pass interference call, that can help shake them loose.
After the penalty, it's Jones. 20! Touchdown, Packers! Aaron Jones. His 9th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know they're playing people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. Extra point from McManus is good, and that will extend this big lead. A drive that time of 6 plays, and the last play in the drive was a touchdown run by Aaron Jones. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
It's a gain of 5, and it's a 2nd down.
Now, that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, on maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. To throw, Cousins. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander, and his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Marching back onto the field now, Devontae Adams and company getting set to go. And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good, and I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages towards him, trying their best to slow him down, and he keeps getting the better of them.
Yeah, whatever they've done, it hasn't worked. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here, stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
11 yards and a Green Bay Packer first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4. Jan 300, Jan 300. Right there, 54, right there, 54, Mike.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Rodgers, and he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been there first. And it's 3rd down now. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. They're working out of the gun. Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking 1st down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's under pressure again, and down he goes again. Zadarius Smith in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. Cousins from the gun on 3rd, and he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A crazy sequence here, a huge gain that time, but it still leaves them well short for 4th down. So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Cousins now rebounding nicely after the interception. He's hit 4 straight to start the drive. It's 1st down. Now Cook. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense is they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Green Bay, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the losses are piling up as they drop to 1-5 now. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner.